What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we have a very cool legend run submission from PhoenixThaBoss running Carbink, Jirachi, and Ferrothorn in the Great League Remix Cup. This looks to be a very unique and strong team. I'm curious to see how well the Jirachi performs in this meta, as we do know that Carbink is incredibly strong. Ferrothorn has a lot of play, but that Jirachi is something unique and special, so let's see how well it does today. PhoenixThaBoss, congrats on Legend. Spoiler alert, obviously 2940 right there, and we got like a 30-minute video of battles, so I believe they make it, so huge congrats, and let's go and get right into it. Alright, getting into the first battle, we have Carbink on the lead versus Shadow Mawile. Okay, this is going to be interesting, as the Mawile will be resisting the fast... I mean, it looks like Carbink's going to be outpacing here. If we take a look at what's happening, which is obviously good here for PhoenixThaBoss, maybe a bit infuriating for the Shadow Mawile. And thankfully, Shadow Mawile is on the lead, because if you look at that backline, Shadow Mawile would delete both of them in a heartbeat. So thankfully, they're deciding to stay in, as a power-up punch is going to be thrown. And it doesn't matter if power-up punch is going to be thrown. I'm curious why they didn't go for Iron Head, because now the next power-up punch right here, unless it is Iron Head. Oh, it is! Boom! See ya! Okay, I thought it was another power-up punch, but that was a bit rough. Jirachi able to confusion down, so the Mawile is in fact out of the game now, and we will see a Mantine come into the battle. Now, Jirachi does have access to Psychic here for some great neutral damage. The confusion as well is really going to start adding up, but we're probably, yeah, we do see a swap out into the Ferrothorn now to get ahead on energy, as the Aerial Ace is going to be doing a little bit of resistant, or neutral damage, I should say. Not too much here, and they can easily hang on. And final Pokemon is actually going to be Shadow Zapdos. Very unique team from the opponent. What is it? Shadow Mawile, Mantine, and Shadow Zapdos. That is pretty cool. Mirror Shot and Power Whip are both going to be resisted, but Mirror Shot is going to be a bit more spammy and has the potential to debuff as well, as we will see a Drill Peck be thrown. Ferrothorn able to hang on. Now, this game is going to come down to Jirachi's ability to fast move farm down both of these Pokemon, because with 2 shields remaining on the opponent's side, actually 1 shield remaining now on the opponent's side, Jirachi may not be able to get to 3 charge moves in time, so we're likely going to see a confusion down, as we will see, yeah, that's doing a good amount of damage. They just have to go straight confusion right here, shield, and then just confusion the Mantine and hope that that's going to be enough, as Mantine was relatively low. I believe it was in the 30% range. There it is, 33.33, repeating, of course, exactly on the dot, as we will see a shield here, and then a desperate confusion fast move farm down to see if they can win this game. No, they go for the Doom Desire instead. Obviously, this is going to be getting the shield from Mantine. Oh, no, they just let it go. Okay, able to farm down the Zapdos, and that is going to be a good game, very well played. I think they knew that the double Doom Desire was going to be coming out, but had they known they actually needed 1 more confusion, maybe Mantine could have won that game. Alright, we got Carbink versus Annihilate here on the lead. With Annihilate being able to do so well against this team, they want to stay in with Carbink and probably just look to go for Moonblast just to get shields early, or obviously get the Annihilate out of the game. If Annihilate is out of the game, Ferrothorn has a high probability of doing very well against the backline, as a Shadow Ball will land, and now Carbink is going to look to go for that Moonblast right here, because getting themselves the shield and then coming in with Jirachi and confusion fast move farm down is probably going to be the play, which is what they get. Now, the Annihilate has an opportunity to load up on energy, but they actually decide to throw right here. I think that might have been a crucial mistake from the opponent, knowing that there's no way they could get to another charge move. The Annihilate now doesn't have enough energy to get to 2 charge moves here against Jirachi, and we do see a swap out into Dugong, as the Jirachi is going to look to swap into Ferrothorn now to get ahead on energy. Ferrothorn and Jirachi, honestly, in a great position. The Annihilate does have enough energy for a potential Shadow Ball, so Jirachi is going to need to be careful of that. But the Ferrothorn right here is going to do great with the Power Whip super effective damage. Even though the Icy Wind did apply the attack debuff, it should be enough to allow them to potentially farm down. Now, they might have to go for a Mirror Shot here, but what you want to do, what we're likely going to see, is a little overload on energy and then throw so that they can get to a power whip potentially. There it is. Perfect. That they could get to a power whip against the Annihilate to try to get that final shield from the opponent, because even though the power whip will only do neutral and they're debuffed, actually, that is a Magnezone in the back, probably Shadow Magnezone to be that, and it is. So we're going to see a counter swap into Jirachi, and now this is a great position for the Jirachi to look to go for double Doom Desire. They will have to give up a shield on the potential Wild Charge as the opponent goes for the Mirror Shot bait. And the Doom Desire here is probably going to be enough damage to knock out, paired with the Confusion damage. So they decide to shield. All shields are down. We will see a swap out here into Annihilate, so the Jirachi is going to be able to give up the final shield of this game. We're going to see a Confusion farm down, and then a Doom Desire versus the... oh, a Psychic. Yeah, that makes sense. A Psychic here against the Shadow Magnezone to claim the victory, even though it's... oh, it hangs on, but one confuse... okay, it didn't hang on. How much health did Ferrothorn have? I believe it has enough. Wild Charge, boom, see ya. Ferrothorn did have enough. Okay, that is going to be a good game. Very well played. All right, moving into the next one. We have... let's see here. We got Carbink on the lead versus Sableye. Well, that is a lead and a half. That is a huge lead advantage as the opponent is deciding to stay in. So Carbink sitting happy right here. Foul play's not going to do that much. Return's not going to do that much. And we see a counter swap into Carbink, and a Jirachi now is going to be coming in looking to do a lot of damage with that Doom Desire. Now, Sableye has quite a bit of energy, so I imagine we're going to see a charge attack priority event when it does come back in, as they will let the Moonblast go through. Jirachi just wants to make sure that they have enough energy for the Doom Desire against the Sableye, as this is likely going to be no-shielded here by the Carbink. Boom! See ya! And, yeah, Sableye's going to come back in. This is going to be charge attack priority event. I feel like Jirachi might get it. No, they don't. Was that a 1 second delay? Or was... okay, maybe they just lost charge attack priority. We'll just go with that. Foul play is going to knock out. Carbink is going to go ahead and come in and lock down the Sableye as they go for a Rock Slide here. The Rock Slide probably isn't going to be enough to KO, which is why they decided to go for it, so they could fast move farm down. But the opponent now swaps into Empoleon, and Ferrothorn is going to go ahead and swap in. And this is looking to be a good game, as a Drill Peck is not going to be enough to one-shot, but a Power Whip will likely one-shot. Yeah, that's just nowhere near, but Power Whip is going to hit a lot harder. Both of these Pokemon are doing neutral damage to each other with the charge moves, but Power Whip against the Shadow Empoleon is just going to hit like a truck. So we will see them continuously overload. All they need is 2 more Power Whips in order to win this game, as the Sableye will be able to come back in, but I don't think the Carbink is going to be taken down by the returns and foul plays, if I'm being completely honest. It does have energy as well. So we're going to see the Power Whip be thrown here. The Empoleon decides to shield. Switch Clock is coming back up. Charge attack priority right here, as they will give up a shield. Now, hopefully they triggered the Power Whip. Otherwise, the Sableye will counter swap. They did the, yeah, no swap went through. Perfect. So they're going to be able to throw this Power Whip here to knock out the Empoleon. Boom. And then they counter swap into Carbink and go for the Rock Slide. And that is going to be a good game. Very well played. All right. Moving into the next one. We have Carbink on the lead versus Ferrothorn. Well, this is a tough matchup. They're going to have to swap out right away, and they will swap into the Jirachi here to get ahead on energy. Now, thankfully, Jirachi is going to be resisting everything here from the Ferrothorn other than the Thunder, if they do have access to that. I know some trainers are opting to run that to surprise some of those Mantines out there, which is pretty popular in the meta, as you don't necessarily need Mirror Shot for the Carbink, right? You're already resisting the moves, and you're doing super effective damage with the power-up, so that Thunder could be a potential play for Mantines. But Power Whips right there got the Jirachi extremely low. Now, the opponent is not swapping out, which tells us one of two things, if not both. They are extremely weak in the back to Jirachi, or they have another counter for Carbink. Both are probably true. So let's see. It's going to be for Ralligator. So they have a counter for, well, actually, they swapped in the Feraligatr, which actually locked them in. So this is kind of a misplay by the opponent, as they waited way too long for Ferrothorn inside of that mid-game matchup, where now they're locked in here, right? Ferrothorn's obviously going to do extremely well in this matchup, as they will let the Ice Beam go through for a lot of damage. Now I'm curious to see if it's actually going to be another water Pokemon in the back, maybe something like a Quagsire. If we take a look at Ferrothorn and then a Feraligatr safe swap, this screams to me that there might be something like a Quagsire back there, as it's going to be covering the weakness that Ferrothorn has. Boom, down it goes, and it's actually going to be a Venusaur. So same but different. Really interesting ABA grass team right here from the opponent, as Venusaur will obviously destroy the Carbink. So this is kind of looking to be a good game, as we will see the mirror shots coming in. So like I said earlier, they had a second answer to Carbink in the back. That's why they didn't swap out. And rightfully so. They had a Venusaur and a Feraligatr back there, which makes sense. So their own Ferrothorn was the best bet against Jirachi, because it was resisting the confusion damage. But the Ferrothorn coming in is very low on health. But I still think this Venusaur is going to be taking it. Power Whip is going to do a lot of damage. And then unless Venusaur is going to be taking this right here. 2 Frenzy Plants should be enough. And that is going to be a good game. Yeah, we see a no shield right here. They know it. ABA or triple cover to Carbink, and ABA grass is going to be kind of tough to deal with, but good game nonetheless. Alright, moving to the next one. Yeah, it's very interesting that, you know, when you read what your opponent is doing and not doing, you can deduce why they're doing that. And it made a lot of sense, right? Alright, we have Shadow Gligar here on the lead. So Shadow Gligar, a pretty big threat for this team. If you take a look at all the neutral damage that it can do, as we will see a swap out into the Ferrothorn and the Feraligatr right here. As we've seen this matchup before, it'd be interesting to see if it's going to be Crunch. It is going to be Crunch instead of Ice Beam. But Power Whip right here is going to do a lot of damage. Now, that Shadow Gligar had a good amount of energy. So we'll have to see if it decides to go for the Feraligatr decided to shield here, wanted to take this into the ones. This is an advantage that the opponent is going to try to get, because their Gligar is going to be able to come in and farm down for quite a bit of energy, as Ferrothorn has to throw here, which means they might not be able to get to a second Power Whip in time. So the opponent is trying to utilize or leverage the energy game right here, because we're going to see an Aerial Ace be thrown. I'm curious why they could have gone for a couple extra wing attacks, which is totally fine. There you go, Aerial Ace undercharge right there, not enough to knock out, but they were able to get to Mirror Shot. Now the opponent might opt to shield here, fearing the Power Whip, as that would do a good amount of damage. And they do, they get the shield and the debuff right there, and now we see the Moonblast right away. Excuse me. Moonblast is going to be landing, nearly knocking out the Shadow Gligar. But Shadow Gligar has that dig ready to go. This isn't going to be enough to one-shot a Carbink by no means. And we will see the final Pokemon is going to be Dugong, and Jirachi is going to be taking this one. Doom Desire is going to do quite a bit of damage. They just have to be very careful about the potential Drill Run. Now, Drill Run isn't a one-shot, which is why we're seeing the no shield right here, because what you don't want to do is shield an Icy Wind and then no shield to Drill Run. So they're going to go ahead and go for double Doom Desire. This is looking to be a good game. Doom Desire is quite a bit of neutral damage in this matchup. Yeah, and the double Doom Desire is going to be sealing the deal. So Jirachi, actually a really fun Pokemon. I've used it quite a bit myself over the years, more so in years past rather than as of late. But regardless, it's looking pretty well, or pretty good for the Great League Remix Cup. Good battle. Alright, moving into the next one. We have Carbink on the lead versus Mantine. Okay, let's see how this is going to be playing out, as Carbink can do pretty well. We do see a swap out into Dugong right here, so another great opportunity. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a Carbink in the back, which obviously Jirachi is going to destroy. Same with Ferrothorn. So what they're going to do is no shield the charge move here. It is going to be Drill Run, but their own Carbink can do extremely well and get themselves a shield advantage as they go for Rock Slide. If the opponent decides to shield, we likely see a swap out into Ferrothorn right here. Here we go. There it is. There it is. Beautiful call. Beautiful, beautiful catch, as they will get the drill run, which is perfect because even though drill run is still neutral damage, what you don't want to get hit by is the icy wind debuff. Now, they're deciding to overload on energy. They're going to go ahead and sacrifice the fact that they will get hit with an icy wind to get themselves more energy, which is kind of unfortunate because they're going for Mirror Shot right away. But they should be able to get the farm down right here. Okay, yeah, they do get one more fast move, which is fine. They should be able to get to 2 Power Whips unless the Mantine decides to throw right away. Ooh, this is risky. Okay, yeah, they do get to 2 Power Whips in time. Mantine could throw. They gotta fear the Thunder as well, but the fact that they showed a Mirror Shot tells the opponent that they don't have Thunder, right? That's some like little key information that you guys can pick up based on what your opponent has. If you see a Mirror Shot, odds are, oh, we see a counter swap back into Carbink, and it's actually gonna be Ferrothorn in the back. Odds are, if you throw the Mirror Shot, the odds of having Mirror Shot Thunder is so low, right? You need the Power Whip coverage. But if you get hit with a Power Whip, it could still be Thunder, not necessarily Mirror Shot. So it's really interesting, the little dynamic that these battles have based on the decisions made by these trainers, as Jirachi is going to try its best to now take down the Ferrothorn. I thought for sure probably PhoenixThaBoss here as well. Thought for sure there was Carbink in the back, which is I think why they decided to swap in their own Carbink to draw that out onto the field. But what we will see is a Doom Desire Jirachi try to take this one. Now, the Ferrothorn on the back end here does have a charge move loaded, if I remember correctly, and we see a counter swap back into Mantine right away. And this Mantine has a decent amount of health left. Doom Desire not going to do that much, but we will see the charge move be thrown. They will give up the shield, and now they got to come in. Oh, this is kind of tough. They got to come in with their own Ferrothorn here in a bit. Load up, go for Doom Desire, and they're going to have to go for a Power Whip at the right time against the opponent, hoping to maybe catch the charge move as well, as we will see. Yep. Ooh, here we go. It's going to be close. Oh, there it is. There it is. Beautiful. Catching the charge move. I don't think that was needed. They could have gone for Psychic to close the game out, but flexing nonetheless, as Doom Desire is going to be thrown, and that is going to be a good game, very well played. Really riding a fine line right there. Didn't knock out. It didn't knock out, but they do get the fast move farm down. Good battle. All right. Moving into the next one. We have Carbink versus Empoleon on the lead. So extremely tough Pokemon to be facing off against. We see the Jirachi swap out and a Shadow Goat in the back. Well, my goodness. Alolan Marowak is going to be putting in work. This is also, I believe, just Bone Club right away. So, yeah, it is going to be Bone Club. Bone Club probably like the... Ooh, gets to the Psychic. Bone Club probably one of the worst ground-type moves. If Alolan Marowak got anything better, right? I don't know if it has access to Drill Run, but a better ground-type move, I think there'd be a lot more potential because I personally don't like running the Bone Club, so I run Fire Blast, and Fire Blast will land sometimes, and it can be a huge threat. So we're gonna see Bone Club spam right here against the Carbink, but the Carbink should be able to farm down as they take down the Goat. And Empoleon now is in a great position to load up on so much energy, and unfortunately they didn't swap out into Ferrothorn in time, so they're gonna get hit with the Hydro Cannon right here, and they're gonna look to fire back with a Moonblast. Now, Empoleon doesn't have to shield this, right? Empoleon is in the driver's seat for this battle. They can easily let this go, and then we're gonna see the counter swap now into Ferrothorn, and this is where the Alolan Marowak wished it was still in the back because they must be core broken in some way, as Empoleon is deciding to stay in. So now we get to find out what is in fact back there. If they're deciding to stay in, it's going to be Pelipper. And this is where throwing Power Whips is going to be so crucial, because you do not want to get caught no shielding a Mirror Shot. You need to go for Power Whips right here, as we will see a no shield here on the Weather Ball. And I think Ferrothorn might be able to take it. It's going to be close. This is going to be a close one, because they have to go double Power Whip here, right? But the Empoleon might be able to Steel Wing down before we see a... oh, they lose Charge Attack priority. This is tough. This is tough. They have to shield. Weather Ball would knock out. They get locked in with Power Whip, which is this was tough. That's why I said the double Power Whip. They counter swap now into Carbink to get the farm down. But this is going to come down to the wire, as Empoleon is going to be able to farm down in time. No, a Rock Slide is going to be thrown, but if Empoleon has the Drill Peck, it is going to be all over, and that is so unfortunate. Oh, it's enough to knock out! They clutch it! Good game. All right. Moving into the next one, we have Carbink versus Quagsire here on the lead. A pink one at that. Tough lead to be facing off against, but honestly, this is a tough team, right? If you're core broken by Quagsire, you gotta be staying in. And this is why I say it. I'm gonna keep saying it forever, guys. You can read what your opponent has based on what they're doing. If you're the Quagsire on the other side and a Carbink is staying in, why would they be doing that? You're core broken in some way. Now, obviously, you don't take out the Quagsire and get switch disadvantage, right? But you maybe shield on the Moonblast, but they decide to let it go. And then now this is where Quagsire's probably going to wish that they shielded that charge move, because PhoenixThaBoss obviously set up the Quagsire to be extremely low so that they can come in with Ferrothorn and farm down. Now, there's the swap out into Mantine, and rightfully so. The opponent kept the Quagsire in the back. They're reading the core break, but Jirachi here is going to be coming into Mantine, and Mantine is ahead on energy. They have access to Water Pulse. That's going to hit like a truck. It's going to absolutely hit like a truck. Oof, yeah. Lots of damage right there. Now, thankfully, they do resist the wing attacks, but you're now so low where you're forced to shield Aerial Aces right here. Mantine, oh, there's going to be another Water Pulse. Mantine doesn't necessarily have to go for Water Pulse in this situation, but they are getting themselves shield advantage, which is obviously going to be crucial. Quagsire, though, has a good amount of health remaining, and we will see it come back in. They do get the defense drop there. Not that it mattered. One confusion would have knocked out anyways, but Jirachi is in such a tough position. Now, the only way PhoenixThaBoss can really win this game is if they're core broken by a Ferrothorn. Let's find out. Quagsire does come in. The Doom Desire is going to be thrown at the last second. This isn't going to knock out, even though Quagsire is low, but it's going to be... Oh, it is enough to knock out! And the final Pokemon is going to be Gligar right here. So this is where you gotta get a bait in some way. They're going to go for Power Whip first, hoping to land it, obviously. And they do get it shielded. So now they... Oh, this is tough. Because you need 4 Power Whips in order to win this game, right? 2 for the shields, and then 2 to get the health out. So they're going for Mirror Shot here. This is the bait opportunity. This is where they have to get the shield from the opponent, because if they don't, oh, they don't, that's a loss. That is so tough. And you know PhoenixThaBoss is like, yep, that's a good game. And this is why it's incredibly tough, because you gotta just make a prediction. It's a 50-50 shot. I mean, I don't think there's a chance left. They're going for another Mirror Shot here, but the opponent doesn't have to shield. They don't have to yet. Yeah, they're going to keep no shielding, and that's so tough. They do have a switch ready to catch a charge move, but they weren't unfortunately not able to catch it. And now they go for Power Whip, and this is where you can shield if you're the opponent, because they are so low they can't get to another charge move. And we will see the shield. We're going to see the counter swap into Jirachi, but that is going to be a good game. So unfortunately, that came down to mind games of the charge moves, which is always a difficult position to be in. But good battle to both of these trainers. I think PhoenixThaBoss kind of did the right thing. He needed to get the bait, but ultimately the opponent read it. All right, we got Crocolore here on the lead. Interesting. We're going to see a swap out. Oh, this is, they changed the order. Okay, so they changed the order of this team, and I'm curious if the order was changed, because I know this is like in order, right? So you guys saw Carbink lead for the first half of this video. I'm very curious as if this is what they started with, because sometimes in battle submissions they don't necessarily have to be in order of which you did the battles, but maybe it's a reason why. Yeah, they're locked in with Ferrothorn now. Maybe this is a reason why they decided to go with the Carbink lead. I'd be very curious, PhoenixThaBoss, obviously, you're probably going to be in the comments, so maybe let us know about that. Which combination you went with and why. Maybe they were seeing some reasons why they might run Ferrothorn lead and have this like ABA weak to fire team. Is maybe they were seeing a lot of Mud Boys on the lead, potentially, and that was a reason. And then, yeah. Anyways, this battle right here, it's going to be kind of tough to come back, as Crocalor with Incinerate obviously core breaks this team extremely. It's bad. It's bad news, Bears. And unfortunately, the longer that they are in this fight against Ferrothorn with their switch clock not up, the worse it's going to get, because they can swap out into Crocalor here and go for the charge. Now, Ferrothorn has to shield this. They're going to no-shield, though. They're going to risk it. They do get the defense drop. Oh, and they do have Thunder as well as the charge move here. So this is going to be able to land nearly one-shotting. We see the swap out into their Carbink. So all hope is not lost, but that Ferrothorn does have a good amount of health remaining. This is going to come down to the wire as Carbink is getting low, but Ferrothorn's fast moves are doing super effective damage. So this is going to be extremely close. I think Carbink might be able to take this one with the 2-to-1 shield advantage by going for just straight fast. Ooh, no, maybe they won't. This Ferrothorn is loaded, and Mirror Shot is going to be enough damage because it's double super effective. And the opponent has another Pokemon remaining. 1, 2. Oh, yeah, they don't get it in time. So unless it's a Mud Boy in the back and the opponent gets Go Battle Lag, I don't think this is going to be a winnable match. No, it is going to be a Gligar, so that is going to be a good battle. All right, moving into the next one. Curious to see if it's the same. Yeah, they did swap. Okay, Ferrothorn and Electro, they did swap the formation here, reading that maybe Carbink in the back would potentially do a lot better, and they changed the moveset on Thunder. So I'm not gonna, on the graphics over there, they're already kind of locked in, but you guys can see, right? You guys can see how we started the video and how we're ending the video right here. Now, Electrode coming in, this Pokemon is powerful, right? You guys might not believe it, you guys may have not used it, but for those of you who have participated in the Kanto Cup, Electrode was probably one of the best safe swaps and the best Pokemon, because you have Volt Switch as a fast move, Foul Play, Discharge, and potentially Hyper Beam. Now see a swap out into Superior, and we're going to see the Jirachi come in right away. Now this Superior is pretty tanky. The confusion damage is not going to be enough to oppressively farm down, and Frenzy Plant is still going to hit hard. So Jirachi is going to have to land a Doom Desire or two in order to win this game, and they have to give up shields, which is definitely tough if you're in a Steal the Grass matchup right here. But ultimately, Jirachi can win this mid-game matchup and come out of here with some potential energy, as we will see a Doom Desire get shielded. All right, so we're going to see the back-to-back right away, which is why I said the Superior could probably survive this as well. Let's see. No, it doesn't. It goes straight down. Okay. Now we do see a Shadow Zapdos come in, but confusion damage is doing so much. Doom Desire is going to be thrown, and little do they know that a Carbink is lurking in the back, and that Carbink will obviously destroy the Shadow Zapdos right here, and that is looking to be a good game. Maybe we see the Carbink's Peekaboo. Yeah, nope, they just fast move down. They're going to no-shield as well. Could be Zap Cannon. Watch out. No, it's just going to be a Thunderbolt. Still a good amount of damage, but ultimately there's nothing that the opponent can do. Electro just doesn't have the energy in order to win, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. Is that the final one? I feel like that might be the final one. It was! So, huge congrats to PhoenixThaBoss. This team obviously looking pretty strong. I think the dynamics that this team has is has good potential in the Great League Remix Cup, and Jirachi actually did pretty well. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.